Hey guys, welcome back to the Marketing for Tax Professionals podcast. My name is Emily and
Jesse.
And this is episode 9.
Episode 9.
We're almost there to episode 10, and we want to talk about AI because this is a trending topic across everything,
Yes.
right? All industries, all businesses, and we are going to be specifically talking about AI tools for tax professionals, but we're going to start with this question. Do you think that AI is going to replace tax professionals?
Dun, dun, dun.
Right?
The
Yes.
suspense. By the way, I was a little extra happy just because it was my birthday yesterday. So if you guys can say happy birthday in the comments, that'd be very great.
Look at him fishing for comments. No, yes, we do need comments, man. We have 9 episodes already.
Yeah.
We are putting a lot of love into this. So if you guys can just, return the love back.
That'd be awesome.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
So to answer your question, do I think AI will replace tax professionals? I don't think so. I think there's something unique about having a tax professional go through the tax code, understand the tax code, and be personable with their clients and understand their situations. Yes, I do think they'll make real big advancements in the industry where, and I know this is, well, I guess I'm speaking specifically more for rush tax and the way that it's kind of starting to come about. It's utilizing AI within the software to make sure that you're not making mistakes. You have the real-time calculations, or even if you have a question that you may not know. And I know a lot of tax professionals, they go to Facebook groups and ask the question to make sure they're doing it right. It'll increase their speed, right? It'll increase their speed in making sure they can get the right answers. But, even to that point, have you ever noticed like on ChatGPT where you ask a question and it's wrong?
Yeah.
And you say like, hey, this isn't right. And like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, but I trusted you from the beginning, right? And so you, as we continue to, I guess, learn from AI as AI continues to expand, I'm sure it'll get a lot better. But in terms of like real-time calculations, I think that'll be really useful for softwares to adapt.
Yeah.
And then from just like a know-it-all standpoint, just the tax code is long.
It's
so
huge,
if there's a way to integrate some of that within an AI model that can dissect a lot of the information, and you can ask a question, it'll spit out something. I think it'll be useful, but it's still a little early. I think there's still a lot more advancements that need to come, and we'll see if it makes a huge impact.
And I don't think that it'll ever replace tax pros at all, because there has to be that human interaction, that relationship. Because keep in mind, like from a consumer perspective, I'm trusting you with my books. I'm trusting you with something that is. What is it? There's this saying like there's only two things certain in life: death and taxes, right? Yeah. So it's like it's a really big deal that I'm trusting you with, and I don't think we'll ever get to that point where it's going to be completely replaceable. But AI is an enhancement for your business. So today we're going to be covering content creation and AI in the tax pro realm, also marketing and productivity. So these 3 sections, we're just kind of like, these are buckets, and we're going to cover AI tools within each bucket. So let's go ahead and start with content
creation. But I'm really glad that you asked that question, because it's one of those like, will AI replace my job? And as we're kind of expanding on these, it's important to know, to your point, like, hey, you guys are important. And the more that you learn how to use ChatGPT or other AI models to enhance what I think it'll be. Yeah,
I mean, even from a marketing perspective, like there was a lot of conversation of like, oh, our entry-level marketers or marketers period are going to be replaced, because ChatGPT. Same thing with you guys, but what we've come to realize is that there is still a lot of improvement to be made, and the ones that are going to win in this race are going to be the ones that are able to leverage that tool to enhance or like optimize the marketing or the tax pro business, or whatever it is that you guys do in your business. So let's go ahead and talk about content creation tools, specifically AI tools, and how can we use them. By the way, I just want to do a plug too, right?
Sure.
Last week in the Marketing Mastery Program, we had a whole workshop on how to use AI for content creation. and it was really dope. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to talk too long. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and do the content creation tools, and go ahead, share some of the favorite ones that you have.
Perfect. So the one obviously that everyone knows is ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is as good as the input that you give it.
Correct.
Right. And so a lot of what we express within our tax video mastery, which is a different program where we help tax professionals who want to be more online through video, create the scripts through ChatGPT. You have to create a good prompt for it. And then we'll kind of segue with the editing and so forth. But to focus in on ChatGPT, what we wanted to kind of emphasize was this mother prompt. So what is this mother prompt, or what does this look like? Right? You want to be able to give ChatGPT all the questions to your business. What's my target audience? When did I get started? What are my values? What's my mission? What are my brand ideals, right? The more that you give it, now it really starts to understand your business, and you can now ask questions where the information that you're going to receive is much more targeted based on kind of the information you give it.
On the settings side of ChatGPT, there are 2 prompts that you should always start with. So like, I definitely recommend it to, and this is not sponsored, okay? But I definitely recommend that you get the paid version of ChatGPT. But once you get the paid version, you're gonna have ChatGPT 4. And that version, you have the ability to create, to give it 2 prompts. The first prompt is, what should I know about you? Like ChatGPT is gonna wanna know, what should I know about you? But it is limited to a certain number of characters. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But you give it as much information as possible about yourself and your business. And this is something in the workshop that I talked about, because you don't just want to share stuff about your business. You want to share about yourself too, because you're the face of the brand, and you want to kind of tell ChatGPT, you want to train it to speak like you as much as possible and think like you. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but you can actually train ChatGPT to do this very closely. And then the second prompt is, what is the kind of voice that I should write or create with? So like, am I professional? Am I sarcastic or informal? Or do I have a little bit of an urban flair or something like that, right? And then once you're done with that, one of the things that I like to do, like to your mother prompt point, is actually tell ChatGPT the following. And like, I'm probably gonna put that in the description box.
Let's do that.
Hey, ChatGPT, pretend that you are, and then like, whatever it is that you need, right? So like if you're trying to create video scripts for your social media content, pretend that you are a master content marketer and you're gonna help me create scripts for my reels. Give me 10 questions that you need to know about me and my business. And so that way you can create the best scripts for me, right? So then it is going to like spit out 10 questions for you. And then your job is to answer those questions and then input again that information. So it's like an input output feedback loop situation that, that ChatGPT is going to start learning from you. And then after that, you can start prompting them to create other scripts for videos. And you can even tell ChatGPT to like, remember this for later. Remember this for later. And it'll grab some of the thread histories. Threads are conversations that you have with ChatGPT. But see, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, but I love,
Jesse, go ahead and ask me questions.
I love that you did that. I love that you did that in particular, because when you first come into it, if you have a business plan, if you have a marketing plan, you have all these questions already answered, right? And so if you do have that, fantastic. All you need to do is kind of just plug that into ChatGPT as the prompt and just let them know, like, here's what you should know about my business, right? And then start asking questions that are more specific to what you want to do. But to your point, I think it's great that you can leverage and say, hey, I don't have a business plan. I don't have a marketing plan. I don't really know what my target audience might be. You can ask ChatGPT to say, hey, ask me as many questions as you need to better understand my business. It's going to ask you a lot of questions. Take the time to fill that out, because once you do, that's your mother prompt and you can kind of expand on it.
And that's not just your mother prompt. That's your entire business strategy.
Yeah, that's too.
Here's the thing, like, in the program, the Marketing Mastery program, we have a workbook, and this workbook is something that we have the students kind of like, fill out all the time. Some of you guys don't fill it out, but it's okay.
It's okay.
But these are the same questions that ChatGPT is going to ask. And in marketing, there are some foundational questions that you're going to have to learn the answers to about your business. And you're going to apply these answers across everything that you do, right?
Yeah.
So like, who do you serve? Who's your niche? What is the demographic of the ideal client avatar? All of these, questions seem redundant and like seem boring or monotonous, but these are questions that are super important in every single strategy and tactic in marketing for your tax business. So just make sure that you input that information, whether it is by asking ChatGPT to ask you those questions or if you have a business plan. But there's also something interesting that I have found is that some business plans, generic business plans, are not really that effective. So when you're trying to execute a marketing strategy, it's better for you to actually ask ChatGPT to ask you the questions that it needs for that specific strategy, not the business plan. Just because some business plans are very generic.
And to the workbook bit, aside from those questions like demographics and age and things like that, one thing that I found to be very useful when we're creating landing pages and things for as marketing resources is kind of diving more into the psychographics. And what I mean by that is think about your customers. What are their limiting beliefs? Right? What are their desires? Like, what are they afraid of? So the more that you understand that customer, and then you can even obviously feed that into ChatGPT, and it'll really take it places. But now you can get much more granular in the type of customer that you're trying to attract.
And I would just copy and paste that into a Google Doc and save it for future reference, not just for other marketing efforts that you might do with ChatGPT, but if you outsource to a VA or an intern, or you hire someone new, you can provide that document as kind of like the reference for your business, and that way you can scale faster, because there's nothing that will slow anything down more than like having to train someone over and over on what it is that you do, who do you serve, how do you serve them, what kind of products do you provide. So understand that this is a tool that can be used not just for marketing, but also for your operations and everything else that you want to do in your business. Okay, so ChatGPT, mother prompt. We talked a lot.
Yeah, we talked a lot on that. Another AI tool that I really like, and this was, we pushed this out for the Tax Video Mastery Program, was Get Captions. It's an app that you can use. Same with V.io. And what's really cool is this AI enhancement. So within the Get Captions app, what's really cool about it, it has a teleprompter already in it. So if you have your script, you can upload the script onto the teleprompter onto the app, and then it'll do a countdown. It'll say 3, 2, 1, and then you start. Literally, you can just read it. So just go ahead and read it. Just make sure you get the right points, the right message, the right kind of value that you want to share. Because sometimes you kind of get brain fog and you're like, oh, I don't know what to say.
You just kind of read it like.
You miss those key talking points that you're like, oh, this is what I want them to really hear. Right?
Make sure you emphasize too what you want to emphasize in the script.
Because sometimes you can go on little tangents, right? So you want it to be very, very specific. And now, once you finish that, then there's a little toggle that you have where there's like an AI enhancement. And then it takes like a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden you see a side-by-side of one where you're reading into the prompter and you can see that you're reading, and the other one, it's like the eye is fixed on the camera. So it looks like you're looking right into the camera, and it just makes it a lot easier for tax professionals who feel a little stuck and maybe they're in their head about how they're seen, or
they're feeling awkward.
A little awkward, It kind of removes that, and I think it's almost like training wheels, right? It really helps you get into that space, into that mode, and then once you kind of feel more comfortable, then you could freestyle a little bit. But now you've at least had 5, 6 of those that you've tried to kind of create more videos and things like that.
So speaking of videos, you were adamant about saying no to AI videos. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I looked into Synthesia a little bit. We had an account, we created some things, but it just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel authentic. And especially and we spoke about this earlier, especially when it comes to taxes, like you need to have a human element behind it, something personal, something where I feel like, okay, that's my reference point. That's who I can speak with if I have any issues with taxes, or, to improve my tax strategy or whatnot. Just seeing an AI won't really, at least it hasn't done it for me, and a lot of tax professionals who I've spoken to, I have seen that they've improved that bit, because you can see if the mouth is very robotic, it doesn't move, the sound feels robotic.
Don't do this, okay?
Just don't do it.
Don't
Stay away
do
from it.
AI video, okay?
At least not right now. It's just not there. It's not there.
Ever. Don't do it. No, seriously, ever. Even when it gets to the point where it feels like it's almost like human, don't do it. You are the brand, like you're the face of the brand, okay? You have to understand that you have to be out here. Like social media is content creation, content marketing. If you want to have an edge in your business, if you want to grow your business, you have to get out of that mindset of trying to find shortcuts, because AI should be a way for you to enhance what you're doing. It should never be seen as a shortcut to
do the job.
Okay? Because it's gonna bite you in the butt later down the line, and just don't do that. I agree with you.
I will say, if there are like Synthesia does have this extra option where it can clone you, it can clone your voice.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So and I've seen some improvements in that, but again, I'd stay away from it.
Yeah.
But if you are the tax pro who likes to experiment with those kind of things and see if there's opportunities, by all means.
I wouldn't mind, like, I don't know if there is, but like illustration AI, like illustration videos,
like whiteboard explainers,
exactly.
Like those.
I think that those are dope. Like I think
cool.
those would be good, but video AI.
We'll stay away from that. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about Swell AI, but I actually want to throw it back at you, because you didn't know about Swell AI until recently. So tell me, what have you seen with Swell AI that has helped us as we've launched this podcast, and how it can help the tax pros that are listening to this podcast?
It just makes it everything so much easier. I was blown away by, well, obviously we want to create the podcast so that you guys can see us, you guys can hear it firsthand, and it's just a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea the impact that, creating, let's say, a 25 minute podcast episode, that's all you need. And then you plug it into this software, it creates the blogs, it creates the YouTube captions, it creates like everything. Because it's consolidating all the information that we've spoken about, right? It transcribes it, and then it uses that to better kind of start to position you in all the aspects. So, and I know you've been using it for quite some time, so please.
Gosh, yes. Like, this is, so it's hard for me, because I'm always gonna say, hey, you should outsource everything that you can, right? But at the same time, if you are, if you're limited with the budget, or you don't want to give away your brand to other people yet, because the brand hasn't been built 100%. So you have to kind of like be in the trenches, like, okay, what is the market really saying to me? How do I express this? So I believe it's good to be doing the thing. Like, it's good for you to be the content creator. It's good for you to be the copywriter, the graphic designer. But at the same time, I understand that you guys are super busy. So Swell AI kind of like helps you like create social media content, like all the captions, writing. The writing part is something that takes a lot of time, and it can actually stop you from even publishing, because you might create an amazing video, and then you're gonna sit there and be like, okay, but like, what is the caption on this video, right? And the thing that you don't want to do is stop yourself from publishing, right? So Swell AI helps you with captions. It even helps you with identifying valuable pieces of content within your episode. So if you don't have like an editor, a video editor, you can use that as well. It can give you captions in there too. I mean, it is such a robust AI tool, and it also integrates with ChatGPT. So like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I was blown away. I was blown away by how efficient our content marketing machine has become through these AI tools. Yeah.
And not to say that there isn't like a human touch to it, because I don't like, once the caption comes in, like, I review it, and it's like, is this, because it's getting to a point where you can tell what's written
Yeah.
by AI or not. So like I tweak it. I add some of the human element to it. But man, like what would take me a whole week of creating, tons of captions is now taking me 2 days.
Yeah.
And that, time is money at the end of the day. So
Yeah, and to your point, I think you're a brilliant copywriter. And so when you're using ChatGPT and you kind of see the output, as a good copywriter, like you go through it and you say, let me change this, and this. But the framework, the foundation, the heavy lifting is done.
In the marketing mastery program, I also had another workshop that I taught where we could look at competitors, like for example, and not even competitors, we also looked at influencers of the industry. And you guys may follow specific people to get your information on Instagram, and you might like the way that they write their captions, and you can literally copy and paste that caption and insert it into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, hey, use this as a template for the next copy, and the copy is going to be about this and that, and I created a reel on that, and it will literally like spit out like the wireframe of the caption. So like if there's emojis, or if it listed if there's bullet points of information, it'll come out with the same thing. So like ChatGPT can be used in so many different ways as well.
No, I totally agree. And it's not so much of you like copying, you're just capturing, like they've probably spent a lot of money on copy. They spend a lot of money on the tone of voice. Like think about like these commercials. You can learn from a lot of these things. They spent a lot of money on them. So just be smart and figure out, okay, I like this cadence. I love the way that she said this. Let's kind of use a little bit of that framework. Let's use ChatGPT. Give me something more original based on my audience and niche and whatnot. And then obviously take it from there. One that I saw, and to this point that I thought was really cool, it's software called Make AI, which was cool is because what you can do is you can find like a popular video in your niche, right? So you get that link, and then you go to YT MP3, and then you download the video file into an audio file, and then you have that audio file, and then you add into a Google Sheet. Now, what Make AI does, it'll do. It has little steps, right? Because it's connected to OpenAI, it's connected to Google Sheets and Google Docs and so forth. So you have that link, you put that link into the spreadsheet, and then from there it'll transcribe it. So it'll get it, it'll go to ChatGPT, it'll transcribe it. Then from there it'll create 3 short form video prompts or like scripts. And then it'll send it to a Google Doc, which gives you a notification through Slack letting you know, hey, your 3 scripts are pretty much complete.
That's insane.
So it's like all these little pieces, right, that we're now using effectively to create content at scale. So if if those issues of creating content, if you kind of get stuck, try to use some of these things, experiment with them. You're not going to get it right the first time. You rarely do. But once you figure out that process, that cadence, it's downhill from there.
I would love to use that like in real world application. I would love to grab like a video ad, a YouTube ad, and transcribe it, and then give me like, okay, like, a prompt so that I could create video ads.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be.
If you look at like these popular ones like Hormozy or Mr. Beast, like these guys are spending a lot of, they're A/B testing all the time. So they're doing the testing for you. They're spending the money on the testing.
You just plug it in the Google Sheet.
So I did want to make sure I pointed that out, and we'll leave the description or a link at the bottom or something like that.
To all the tools that we're mentioning for sure. And by the way, Swell AI actually does that for me.
Oh, God.
Like, so like, we're talking about all of these tools right now, and then Swell AI is going to grab it and create a list off of all the tools and the descript. Like all I got to do is copy and paste. Boom, bam.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
That's so clean, man. That's awesome.
Okay, so let's talk about marketing. So some of these tools that we just talked about are part of marketing, but we wanted to discuss chatbots and landing pages optimization. So go ahead and
so when it comes to AI chatbots, and we're actually including it in the tax marketing mastery program, one of the things that we found is that if you have a lead magnet and someone downloads it, gives you their name, phone number, and email that goes directly into the CRM, yes, you can automate the process and send the follow-up email and so forth. But if they're not responding, then that's a missed opportunity. So how can we help like improve or improve that kind of engagement? So if you have an AI chatbot within your kind of framework or your system, it's referencing OpenAI, right? So it's using the information from OpenAI, so it's ChatGPT. But to our point earlier in the beginning, it's giving all the information about your business. So the more questions you answer about your business, the more it'll know how to respond. So if someone downloads that lead magnet, how great would it be for the AI chatbot to say, hey, just saw that you downloaded the lead magnet. Here's the link for this. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Okay, but question for the people here.
Yeah.
Where is this chatbot? Where does it live? On the website, or is it how does that engagement happen exactly?
Great question. So the communication is through SMS.
Okay.
So it's through text.
Okay, so that is powerful,
Yes.
right? Because even if the person downloads, a lot of times you download a freebie or a lead magnet, and then you just kind of like go to the next website.
Yeah.
But in this particular process, you are inputting information for a lead magnet. They get it. And now I can text that person, right? So there's no getting away from the interaction that you want that you want to have with that potential customer.
Exactly. You're trying to close that loop, right?
Yeah.
And I said it in the form of the kind of the lead magnet. But let's say if you have a website and you have let's say a contact form at the end of the page, and you click on a particular product that you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
As soon as that happens, at least within Refundo, as soon as that happens, it goes into the CRM, and then the AI chatbot knows to ask like, hey, is this Emely?
Wow.
As the first question. And you naturally would be like, yeah, this is Emely. And then the next follow-up would be, hey, this is Jesse from Refundo. Notice that you checked off this particular one about refund transfers or refund advances. Is there any questions that I can help you with? Right?
That is how an actual website should work, I believe. Like, a lot of times we create websites and it's just kind of like sitting there, but like, how are you making your website actually work for you? It's like
work for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, at least I don't see it so much within tax pro websites. They don't do a good enough job. There's a lot of room for improvement, and adding things like this will kind of close the loop on that customer journey. You don't want to miss these opportunities. These are people who are inquiring about your services, downloading a lead magnet, and you want to be in their face, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that also increases the success of advertising. So like if you're running ads to your website for whatever it is, the lead magnet or whatever, if you have the second piece, which is a chatbot, it's going to, increase the possibility of conversion. I don't know by how much, but
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a super powerful
and if
tool.
And one thing in particular why SMS is so effective is 98% of people look at their text within 5 minutes of them receiving it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's instantaneous.
Not me. I have like 300. But anyways.
But you'll find sometimes that and I've seen it before where let's say if you don't have like something like that or AI chatbot or an SMS kind of follow up, and someone downloads it, sometimes they just forget, and they're just not maybe not present. They have a lot of their busy schedules, and so that makes it a challenge. So you want to at least start that conversation immediately through that SMS follow up.
Love that.
And one thing that's particularly good, kind of similar to the SMS, and I know you can speak on this too, is ManyChat.
Yeah.
Like ManyChat within Instagram. If you've ever seen on Instagram that someone says they're talking about something and say, hey, if you want the free report,
DM me or
comment report or comment this, or something like that. And as soon as you comment that,
like this,
it's quick. You receive that DM where like, hey, where should we send this free guide? Give me your name, phone number, email. And then you start the conversation that way. That's another way, maybe not so much AI, but I think there's some crossover between the automation bit and AI. But that's something that I've seen a lot of tax professionals, a lot of people, not just tax professionals, marketers start to use that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I also want to be very clear because we're grabbing what's working across a myriad of industries and also bringing it back to you guys, right? Like this is one of the reasons why this podcast is so valuable, because we're looking at the entire spectrum of
the whole gamut,
all of it, all the types of businesses, specifically service-based businesses, which is what you guys are, and we're bringing it back to you so that you understand what's working today in marketing for tax pros. So when we say it's working for everyone, understand that we've been testing, we've been looking. Okay, talk about landing page optimization. You were talking about something where you could screenshot a landing page upload it into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
It's really fascinating. Before you couldn't really use images within
Yeah.
ChatGPT, but now you can. So you can take a screenshot of, let's say, your homepage.
Yeah.
Maybe you might have to take a couple if it's a little long.
Yeah.
But within that image, you can upload it to ChatGPT, and then you can ask it a question like, hey, can you please optimize this landing page? Check to see if the call to actions are good. Is there any visual tension? Are there any like headlines that I should focus on? Like just optimizing it so that when people come, obviously they stay longer and they interact with the site. And
that's amazing.
I've seen some really cool stuff. Like, again, it's a work in progress because it's a new release, but it's fascinating to see.
You just stay here all day? Is that what you do in the office? Just like playing around with ChatGPT?
I just play, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it because we're living in an era that it's unprecedented. Like we've never seen things like this before. So it's a lot of fun to experiment with these tools.
Me too. I play with it too. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. There's days where I'm like, what did I just do all day on these ChatGPT AI tools? But I mean, it's part of the process. We're testing things.
Or even like using Mid-Journey. Like Mid-Journey is more of the graphics, but they come out with some crazy.
I haven't played with that yet.
Oh man, it's insane. Like it's really, really cool how detailed they come out.
I tried the image one for ChatGPT, and it sucks, bro. Like it sucks. Yeah, like there comes like the hands are like this. Yeah. There's no fingers.
Cross-eyed.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But to that, I did want to point out, because as we're kind of heading into like, we're all AI driven, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I came across that I thought was particularly interesting is we want to know what AI tools to use. Right? And so what you can use within ChatGPT, there's like a plugin that allows you to describe the type of AI tool that you're looking for, and then it'll give you a list of the AI tools that serve that need.
Love that.
That's so impactful. Like if you're looking for to create better images, or if you're looking for better captions, or whatever the case is, like it's going to list out all the AI tools that can focus on that, whether it's productivity, management, anything like that.
I have now this. I have access to being able to create chatbots within ChatGPT too. Like, have you? Do you have it too?
I've played with that, not as much though, but
that's dope. But that's a whole other episode.
That's a whole different thing.
So let's talk about productivity, so we can close the episode, because we're talking a lot about AI, and I need to talk about productivity in another episode too, and like really get into it, because there are tons of automations. Our products have tons of automations to help tax pros, but I wanted to cover some AI tools for productivity, and those include Zapier with the OpenAI integration. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so for a lot of people that don't know Zapier, however you want to call it, Zapier, it allows softwares to communicate with one another.
Yes.
So like if we had the Refundo dashboard and we use Zapier, it can connect to Slack, right? And prior to that, we were unable to do that.
Yeah.
And so by incorporating OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, within that Zapier component, it really kind of takes whatever it is that you're trying to do to that next level. What's really cool about tax pros is that they have a lot of ideas of how to approach a problem, but they lack a little bit of that execution because they're not familiar with the tools that they can use. Yeah. And now by combining Zapier, this kind of automation tool, with OpenAI, it just really gives you a broad range of stuff that you can do.
When you go to Zapier's website, you have the ability to kind of like demo integrations of different tools. So for example, like if you use Slack and you use, another tool, you can put it together like inside the demo, and it'll tell you what kind of integrations or connections or activities it can do for you. And then integrating AI to that, you can even put something like your chatbot in there. You can put many chat, like there are so many different types of ways that you can have these tools collaborate with each other, while still using AI as well, to really get to a point where you might have had to outsource like a general virtual assistant to route your calls or route your conversations that you're having online. But now you have this ChatGPT or AI integration that is routing properly all of these conversations and placing at your table the conversations that truly matter for you to actually, be involved in. So there's just so much in this.
And on that productivity bit, I saw something. I forget the name of what it's called, but when we do get it, we'll include it in the description. But if you can't make a meeting, the AI will go to the meeting for you. It'll take all the notes, consolidate all the notes, send you notification, hey, the notes are done, here's what you missed. And just breaks down the whole meeting. Now, I would say go to the meeting. but if you can't go to the meeting, you at least are utilizing things that make your life easy. Like it's gonna break down the meeting notes. You don't feel like you're missing out on these things. Obviously you wanna be there, but if you can't.
A good application for that would be for sales calls, like especially like if you have someone that you're kind of like, you put the sales calls, for, and like you want to monitor or audit how good they're selling. I would probably use that for that. Like, are you having the proper questions during the sales call?
That'd be very interesting to explore.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So that was a lot. Okay. That was a lot. So we have a Facebook group where we're planning to host workshops where we dive deep into these types of topics, where you can actually get the tactics, right? So right now you're kind of learning about strategy and just kind of getting the big picture, but how do you actually apply these things? We have that Facebook group and we want to invite you to come in. It's free, and just join us to network and learn how to, again, do the thing with AI, with marketing, with all sorts of different things. We will be bringing experts as well in the near future. And just continue the conversation inside the Facebook group. We'll leave the link down below. And that is it.
That is it. Wrapped up this episode. We're off to the next one.
Peace out.
Bye.